not try any of the experiments you are about to see at home.
Well, there's your problem.
In this special series of Mythbusters,
It's almost too exciting.
the Dream Team tackles their dream themes.
It's scientific!
Testing myths about everything from electricity to pressure and gravity.
This one hurt a bit.
Shaking down the science of shockwaves, velocity, and ballistics. With crazy chemistry,
Oh my goodness.
far-out physics,
Fun for the whole family.
and insane explosions.
Is everybody okay?
Life's burning questions answered. On Mythbusters, there's your problem. On this episode, the team takes a dive into some watery myths.
Wow, I can feel the pressure.
Both above and below the surface.
Come, silent walrus!
First up, can water shield you from a lethal shot?
Another myth where we get to fire some guns. What's this one all about?
The myth is that you're being shot at, you dive underwater, the water protects you from the bullets.
You know, I've seen this in countless Hollywood movies. The heroes being chased by the bad guys. They all start shooting, and he escapes totally unscathed.
Well, you know, I have no doubt that the water's going to slow down and eventually stop a bullet. But what we have to test is how deep would you have to be protected by it?
In other words, how much water do you need between you and the barrel of a gun before you're safe? To find out, first build an acrylic tank 10 feet tall. Then add H2O. Next, find a human target. If no volunteers, mix up a block of ballistics gel as the next best thing. The test will be disarmingly simple. If a bullet goes through it, you're dead. If not, you'll live to swim another day. The plan is to try out an arsenal of artillery.
This is a workout just picking it up.
But this being Mythbusters, they'll start small and work their way up. First in the firing line, a 9mm pistol with a ballistics gel at a depth of 6 feet.
3, 2, 1.
Interesting. That looks like we went right through the ballistics gel, Jamie.
It's a fatal hit. Traveling at 960 feet per second, the bullet went clean through the gel. How about a couple of feet lower?
Okay, this is 9mm pistol at 8 feet. 3, 2, 1.
And the result?
Whoa, no, that didn't go all the way through. Jamie?
Yeah.
It's about ½ an inch under the surface of the ballistics gel.
It's a non-lethal hit, but that's 8 feet of water and a small caliber handgun. So how much water will you need when they really ramp things up?
Can I try?
There's that sound.
know. James Heineman is ready?
So this is the 3-inch deer slug out of a shotgun.
At 8 feet, think you'd be safe enough?
3, 2, 1.
Maybe not.
That's all.
Now, a couple of things here. Water and electric lights don't mix well.
Yep, yank all those cords out. Just yank them out.
And Jamie hates mess.
There's a huge crack in the front piece here.
All of which means this myth badly needs a new location. Like a public swimming pool, minus the public.
I never cease to be amazed at what people will allow Mythbusters to come and do. We're firing bullets into their pool, and somehow everyone's agreed to cover it.
Adams redesigned the rig for firing at an angle from the pool edge. But the rules remain the same. How much water do you need between you and the barrel of a gun to dodge a bullet.
Worst case scenario today is that somebody dies from a bullet wound.
So, with this myth back in their sights, niftily designed to adjust for the light-bending properties of water, they pick up where they left off. Ballistics gel at 8 feet and the pump-action shotgun that wrecked their first rig,
Okay, deer slug in the shotgun.
still firing at 1,400 feet per second.
And 3, 2, 1. It's smoking.
The bullet's deep in the ballistics gel, a lethal hit. It's looking like water offers less protection than the myth might have you believe. But what the heck? Jamie's not about to call time when he's having fun.
Okay, that's clear.
So he's stepping up to a .223 rifle, firing at 2,500 feet per second. If the shotgun pierced the gel, this could obliterate it.
So this is the 223 at 10 feet.
And that's the myth buried, right?
That was right there.
Wrong.
Well, there's a problem.
What do you know? The bullet shattered before it even reached the gel.
Adam, let's just bring this sucker right up to the shortest distance we can do. What's that, like 3 feet?
Absolutely, it's 3 feet.
3, 2, 1.
Surely 3 feet can't stop that mother.
The tip of the bullet was just resting at the ballistics gel.
Wow, this thing's breaking up the minute it hits the water.
As surprised as I am to say it, 223, myth actually confirmed.
Entering the water at supersonic speed, the .223 bullet decelerates so fast that it disintegrates into tiny fragments, which sink to the bottom of the pool. On the trail of a shock result, Adam and Jamie skip the M1 and jump the gun all the way up to the 50 cal. An armor-piercing giant that fires at 3,000 feet per second.
I don't know whether you understand what is about to happen here, but this is the M1 Grant.
Yeah.
This is the 50 caliber.
This kills you. This kills you and everyone else in the room.
In there, right? Okay, eyes and ears. This is the 50 caliber at 10 feet. 3, 2, 1.
Well, everyone seems to be alive.
Yeah, look at the water coming off of the roof.
But would our submerged human
Waves in the
target
pool.
have survived too?
There is no bullet in the ballistics gel.
The 50 cal has a range of up to 5 miles. Through water, it didn't make it 5
What do you
feet.
got?
I got a bunch of stuff. It expended all its energy within 3 feet and became totally non-lethal. Wow.
Hard to believe, but just 3 feet of water would protect you from one of the most powerful guns on the planet. It's almost like it's turned water into a solid. So why does water behave that way? Carrie, Tori, and Grant take a look at the science from another angle.
Okay, so we've got a good one. We're testing that water is as hard as pavement.
Yeah, I've heard this one. The idea is that if you fall from a height tall enough and you get up enough speed, when you hit that water, it behaves just like pavement.
So, is there any hard science to this myth? According to Grant, the answer is a solid yes.
Let me demonstrate. In this syringe, I have air. In this syringe, I have water with some food coloring in it. Air is compressible. Compresses, springs back. Water is incompressible. I try and push it in, and it doesn't compress. And that's what's gonna happen when your body falls out of the sky and hits the surface of the water. It doesn't give, just like pavement.
But as always, the proof will be in the pudding. which could be all that's left of Buster once this show hits the road or the water.
It's always exciting when the crane shows up.
The team has fitted him with an accelerometer to measure how quickly he decelerates when he lands.
So we know how much impact he experiences, and then drop him on pavement and drop him on water and compare the results.
Bullseye.
First drop, 25 feet onto pavement.
In 3, 2, 1. Ow!
With a long day ahead, the dummy took that one in his stride. But what does the accelerometer say?
Got a peak G load of 60 Gs.
Well, that seems about right. I mean, he has his legs to break his fall.
Great! That should cheer Buster up. So what does a fall from the same height
All right, that looks good.
into water look like?
Oh, that didn't look so bad. That's definitely not the same as pavement.
And the numbers bear that out.
Okay, so I got no trigger, which means that that fall was less than 25 Gs. It won't trigger anything below that. And remember, in this same situation over pavement, it was 60 Gs.
But the myth states that water equals pavement from a great height. And at greater heights, Buster would be falling at greater speeds. Time to raise the stakes to the crane's maximum height of 75 feet.
That's a long way to fall. Anybody feel sorry for Buster?
No.
Just checking.
We got 29.
No way.
Yeah, so that's half of what we got on pavement at 3 times the height.
Wow. All right, 75 feet into the pavement, what kind of G's did we pull?
Absolutely maxed out our accelerometer.
That means over 500 Gs. A skin-shedding impact at least 17 times harder than the H2O. But if water's incompressible, how come this myth looks as busted as Buster? The answer is to do with how water behaves at lower impact speeds. Time for Grant mini experiment number 2.
Now, water's incompressible. That's a fact of physics. And if I put my hand in the water slow enough, the water can displace. It can move out of the way. But if Buster were to hit the water fast enough, and if he had enough surface area, the water wouldn't have a chance to get out of the way. And because it's incompressible, there'll be some point at which the G-force is equivalent between water and pavement.
So, they need to go much higher than a 75-foot crane. Cue Chopper.
Come on, let's go! Get to the chopper!
And Buster's on strike. So the next best thing to a crash test dummy? Crash test pig carcasses, of course. All nicely trussed up in body bags. One for pavement, one for water.
Pig doesn't want to fly.
First up, pavement.
The idea is as simple as it is gruesome. Drop the pigs, then X-ray them to compare the damage. From a height of 600 feet, the bacon bags will hit terminal velocity before they hit the planet.
Okay, so we're at our target altitude of 600 feet.
First up, the pavement pig.
We're hovering directly above the landing zone.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. Operation Pork Drop onto pavement in 3, 2, 1. The pig is flying.
A drag chute ensures the pig falls belly first for maximum surface area. Bullseye.
Once I got him out of the helicopter, the drag chute opened up, he got into the belly flop position, and most importantly, he was traveling at terminal velocity. And the best part is, we hit the pavement.
Oh.
Dude, that was crazy.
Did you hear that splat?
We need to get this pig into X-ray stat.
The X-ray will reveal exactly how a 600-foot fall onto pavement affects the carcass. But before we check out the results, it's time for the water pig from the same height.
Pork drop number 2 onto water at terminal velocity.
Adios, muchachos!
Okay, there it goes.
Okay, stabilizing chute, deploy. Looking good, looking good.
flop, belly flop, and go! Oh!
Now it's time to bring home the bacon and put this myth to bed.
How did our pig do on Pavement?
Well, the pig on the Pavement did really disastrously. 17 fractures. Wow. Here's a femur fracture dislocation of the spine, and to top it all off, a decapitation.
Oh! You got a dislocated head.
The Pavement pig is bacon bits. The key to this myth lies in the comparison.
How did it compare to the water drop?
The water drop pig did much better, although still 7 fractures compared to 17. 6 rib fractures, and also a neck fracture, but not as bad as the decapitation.
Take 2 pigs of the same weight, falling at the same speed, in the same orientation, and the one that whacks water will get a softer landing than the one that pounds pavement.
Oh!
Slam dunk. So far, the Mythbusters have been testing myths about water density and how H2O behaves under impact. Now, for one that rests upon another property of water. Surface tension. The myth is that Japanese ninjas used shoes called mizugumo to walk on water. The theory is that the wide surface area distributed their weight, allowing the stronger bonds between water molecules at the surface to stop them sinking. Adam's going to try and make his own pair.
I've got some pine-based, light-density fiberboard here. It's pretty much perfect for our uses, so I'm going to use this as our stand-in for the mizugumo wood.
That's good.
With the quarters assembled, he places a shoe-sized platform in the middle and secures it all with twine.
I can't wait to see how these work.
These are my special device for storming the castle, walking across the water.
All right, then. I think Adam's going to sink like a stone. They are made of wood. They do float. But unless he's going about 80 miles an hour when he touches the surface of the water, he's going straight down.
Jamie's nothing if not unimpressed. Adam, on the other hand...
Come, silent walrus, let us storm the castle. I will don my safety gear.
If enthusiasm could float, these feudal shoes should be a roaring success. Here we go. It's one small step for man.
The first step seemed kind of promising.
One giant failure for Mythkind. So, for his next attempt, Adam decides to channel another ninja power.
To me, it seems like it's all going to be a function of my ability to move my feet crazy fast, like a cartoon. Which might be possible.
Or not.
I don't know about you, but these seem a little cumbersome to me.
Yeah, I don't think you're going anywhere on water with those things.
The important thing is that I look damn good.
Undeterred, and with the cunning of a silent assassin, Adam turns to science. Using materials that probably aren't in the ninja handbook. Aluminum, packing foam, and snowboarding boots.
To make my water boots work, I am exploiting the principle of water displacement. I weigh about 200 pounds. I'm going to try and displace in excess of 200 pounds of water. I've calculated that 4 layers of this gives me about 2.2 cubic feet per foot of water displacement. That equals about a total of 265 pounds of buoyancy.
He traces outlines of the boots onto the foam, cuts out a hole, and wedges them inside.
Awesome! I could not have gone better.
To keep the foam from breaking apart, he tapes aluminum sheeting to the base and rivets on a lightweight rail.
I've added enough strength that it can support my 200 pounds out at either end, and it only has to support half that. So there's a little bit of flex, but no breakage.
They don't exactly scream stealthy, but it's back to the test pool for round 2.
These look like fun.
Well, this is Ninja Suit 2.0. This is my attempt. What do you think?
I think it's going to be real hard to stay upright on those puppies.
There's only one way to find out. Yeah.
It's do or die. Go time. The moment of truth.
Woo! Oh, if I had any dignity, that would have been humiliating.
For his next attempt, Adam tries a gentler launch.
There you go.
And what do you know?
Oh, I'm stealthy as the night. Oh. Don't I look like silent death? Bringing justice in the night?
Adam's floating, which means his calculations about how much foam he needed for water displacement were right on the money. But forward motion, aka walking on water, is terminally broke.
I don't know about these ninja shoes, man. What do you think?
I think they suck.
While Jamie's been enjoying Adam's epic fails, he's also been thinking of a solution.
There is something that I've come up with that you can walk on it. It does have a lot of water in it. I'd like to see how that works.
His plan involves 200 gallons of water and 1,000 pounds of powdery cornstarch.
It's a Heinemann version of water.
Yeah, and you're gonna walk on it.
No way.
Think like those movies where they're walking up bamboo and stuff, you know?
All right, here we go. That is so cool!
Hey, it worked.
The reason is the cornstarch and water combo is a non-Newtonian fluid, and these kinds of fluids can change their viscosity. Cornstarch is made up of long chains of molecules. If you add water, it slides between the chains and separates them, so it flows like a liquid. But if you add pressure, the water is squeezed out, and it behaves as a solid.
It looks like a liquid, it pours like a liquid, but when you want to run across it, you're fine, because the impact of your feet is enough to change that balance. All of a sudden, you've got a solid that you're dealing with only for a second, but it's long enough for you to move across the top of it without sinking into it.
And here's the thing about surface tension. It works okay if you're moving quickly. Stop for too long, and the bonds between the molecules move aside, and you get that sinking feeling.
Funky. Oh, dude, that feels so wrong.
So far, the team has only scratched the surface of H2O. Time to take a deeper dive.
Whoosh!
First up, unfasten your seatbelts as quick as you can.
That is intense! This is one I've been wanting to do almost since we started doing this show. The myth is that you're in a car, it goes over the side of a bridge or something into the water and it starts to sink. The myth is you will not be able to open that door until the cabin of the car fills up with water. And then you can open the door and escape.
Sounds like you might be cutting it kind of close, though.
That's exactly what we're gonna find out.
This myth is all to do with pressure differential. Water exerts greater pressure than air, so it presses on the doors, holding them shut. Only when the cabin is completely full of water does the inside pressure match the outside, allowing the door to be opened. But can you really hold your breath and keep your cool long enough to carry off such a narrow escape? To get this myth revved up, they need a test car, minus one engine. They don't work where it's going.
Well, there's your problem.
The motor is replaced with weights to make sure the car sinks.
This is Jamie's new hydrogen fuel cell engine.
Now for the wet bit.
This is a high school diving pool, and this is where we're going to sink our car.
And risk their necks. Here's how it'll work. The car will be lowered into the pool from a crane.
Lovely.
Adam will be in the driver's seat, bosom buddy riding shotgun.
I'm just going to be sitting there relaxing, waiting for Adam to freak out, and then I'll be right there with the regulator.
You ready?
I'm all set.
I think it's entirely likely I may need oxygen before this test is complete.
No kidding. Talk about being thrown into the deep end. This calls for nerves of steel.
I'm going to try to start opening this door the moment I see the water get above my glass. Now, if the myth is true, I won't be able to open that door until the water level inside the car gets to the same point.
Here comes that sinking feeling.
I couldn't stop now if I wanted to. Oh, man. Oh. The water's up to my butt now. All right. Okay, it's coming past my waist. Now I can start to see under the water. Oh my God, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure. All right, I only have a couple more breaths here.
Adam's completely submerged. And scientifically speaking, in deep shit. If this was for real, he's dead in the water. Only after he starts taking breaths on the regulator does the cabin fill up completely, allowing him to escape.
Woo!
Dead man floating.
No matter how you slice it, I died. Let's just put it that way. That myth is confirmed. I could not open that door until the cab seemed to be full of water for a while.
Undeterred by his near-drowning experience, Adam's taken the plunge again to try a new tactic.
I'm just gonna wait until the water gets up to my ankles, and then I'm gonna try and open the door. There we go.
The water rushes in.
Okay, I'm coming up to my ankles. Now I'm gonna try and open the door.
And Adam rushes out. But let's face it, that car was not sunk.
By the time you can see water halfway up your window, it's pretty much too late.
Window. Good point. Surely you can just wind the window down when you're underwater. Back to the shop to find out.
I have one electrically powered window and I have one manual powered window. I'm going to put them under the same kind of strain that they'd experience underwater and try and open them.
Adam weighs down the door windows with 350 pounds, matching the pressure they'd be under at a depth of only 2 feet.
I do not know of a more visual way to make clear how much pressure you're dealing with when you put things underwater.
Suddenly, this looks less simple. Manual winder.
Just failed.
Busted.
The gear just slipped. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Electric winder.
No, it's not budging.
And neither would you be if you were trapped in the car. And if you're thinking, why not just bust out? Think again. Car keys.
Keys are busted.
Cell phone.
You're screwed.
Steel-toed boots.
No.
But if you're properly prepared and have the right tool in your glove compartment,
Oh!
One hit.
3.
bust the glass, wait for the car to fill up, and you're home free.
It doesn't take much, but it has to be the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But this myth's still up in the air. So it's back to the pool where Jamie thinks he can land it. So what's the answer?
Simply patience. The idea being that if you sit there, you relax, you conserve your energy and therefore your air.
Easy for him to say, because Adam's the unlucky lab rat who gets to test his theory. With blue-hued deja vu, our aquanaut says a mental goodbye to the world above. Takes one final breath and does his best to kick back and relax as if he's on a lazy Sunday afternoon drive. And what do you know? When the cabin pressure finally equalizes, Adam makes a serene exit.
I survived! Woo! The Mythbusters technique worked! Woo!
Well, how are we going to wrap this one up?
Well, the original myth we started with, that you can't open the car door until the cab is full of water, is absolutely confirmed. And we've actually looked at really viable survival techniques.
Of course, the best one is just don't drive into the water in the first place.
Next up, could a sinking boat, like, really suck?
Well, there's a myth that says that if you're on a ship when it's sinking, it'll suck you down with it.
You're telling me this thing, when it goes down, I'm gonna go down with it because it's gonna suck me down?
Yeah.
What are the prevailing theories behind a boat sucking you down?
Well, apparently there are three. And the first one is that air that mixes in with the water as it rushes up from the boat makes the water less dense. And so it's like you're gonna fall through the water quicker that way. The second theory is that the cavities in the ship will create an area for the water to rush in, and that'll pull you into the ship. And then the third one is that the ship moving through the water rapidly towards the bottom will create a vortex above it, kind of like drafting behind a truck when it's on the highway.
Rest assured they will push out the boat and sink a ship for real. But first, they want to test out the three theories small scale. A metal rig with winch and wires will hold a box designed to simulate the action of a sinking ship. Adam makes a bubbler to test out the water density theory.
Hopefully, it'll provide us with a really attractive stream of bubbles.
And the boat box will also let them test the cavity suckage and vortex theories.
We're gonna fill this with 25-pound barbell weights.
So it's off to yet another school pool.
You'll have to walk it.
This time for a lesson in ship sinking science.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Adam's positively effervescent. So he fires up the bubbler for test one, water density.
This is lead shot.
A homemade hydrometer completes the rig.
We will see how much the density of the water changes by how far this goes up and down when the water is aerated.
Remember, the theory is that bubbles from a sinking ship lower water density, making sailors sink too.
Okay, I'm going.
All right, I'm gonna watch it. Oh, that looks cool from here.
It looks like it's going down. Yes,
oh,
definitely.
Way down.
Encouraged by the first result, Adam decides to go all in for the next tests.
Can we blur out the love handles? Be nice to me, all right?
Test number 2 is the suckage theory, that water rushes into a sinking ship and sucks you down with it. The empty boat box is suspended on the surface and loaded with 200 pounds.
Good, go.
Water enters through specially designed holes, and down it goes.
Wow.
I pulled it down.
That was intense.
Where's the hydrometer?
There it is.
That pretty much says it.
Wow. I mean, it went all the way to the bottom and hung out there for a while. Based on what I see here, you would definitely get sucked down, and I think the bigger the object, the bigger the suck.
That's 2 for 2. Now for the third theory.
Hey, hold on.
Does a sinking ship create a vortex that drags you down from above? And it's a titanic yes.
Okay, ow, first of all. Second of all, you can feel yourself in the vortex as you're going down. I mean, I did not separate from the box at all. That was intense.
All three theories are confirmed. At small scale, it hardly seems worth testing this myth for real. Only kidding. The Mythbusters would never turn down the chance to sink a boat, even if it means being tugged down with it.
It's a nice, solid little hunk of steel, and I think it ought to go down like a rock.
The 9-ton tug is promptly renamed the Mythtanic, and they set about rigging this sucker to sink.
What we have are some large threaded fittings which we're going to weld into the holes that we cut in the boat, and we'll simply unscrew them to let water in.
As unsinkable as its ill-fated namesake, Mythtanic is towed out to the sink site, where a huge crane can haul it up from the bottom should retests be required. This myth needs a sailor to go down with a sinking ship.
Swing it out some more.
And Adam's drawn the short straw. Jamie will be one of the support divers.
Just letting you know we got 50 feet underneath your boat right now. 50 feet of water. Very cold water.
The water's murky, it's cold, it's deep. This is a dangerous stunt that we're doing. I guess Adam's life is in my hands.
Adams is relaxed as a band member on the deck of the Titanic, but it's too late to pull out now. So he bravely pulls the plug.
About 2 feet of water in here now.
At this point, things go downhill fast.
All right, it's going down, bro. It's going down.
And plucky Adam chickens out. But when sink or swim are the options, gotta sympathize.
My job, I know, was to stay with the boat and feel the suction. But I swear to God, standing on there, my body just goes, move that way, not that way.
There's nothing for it but to raise the Mythtanic and hope Adam can raise his game for a second scuttle. Rescue plan in place. It's now or never.
Okay, be careful. It might roll and you get caught. It's gonna roll, guys.
I hardly dare say it, but I can't help hoping the Mythtanic really does suck.
Stay with it. Stay with it. There you go.
Sadly, no. Though Adam probably doesn't feel that way.
No suction. No suction at all. I mean, I could not have been more central to the boat where it went down. I sat on it, the entire boat just dropped underneath me, and I hit the water, my neck hit the water, and I never went any lower.
It's a Titanic dud. So how to explain the promising boat box tests? Perhaps the difference was the rate of descent.
It went right down really quickly. The boat's not built like that. It's a lot larger surface area. It didn't go down that fast.
Well, you know, Jamie, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say there is no effect. That myth is busted.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So with one ship successfully sunk, next we ponder the myth that you can refloat a boat from the bottom using only these.
Well, Jamie, your years as a captain of a ship down in the Caribbean is going to serve you well for this myth. Ping pong ball salvage.
It's true. Jamie once raised a sunken sailboat using bags filled with air. Ping pong balls contain air too. So could they achieve the same result?
These, to raise a ship.
Yeah.
Off the bottom of the ocean.
That's the myth.
It comes from the 1940s, when Donald Duck and his nephews had the comical idea of using ping pong balls for underwater salvage. That's good enough for us.
You know, one of the first questions that comes to my mind, Jamie, is how much buoyancy does a ping pong ball have?
Huh.
Or in plain English, precisely how many ping pong balls will lift how much weight in water.
Are we gonna get like a 30-foot long tong for the real thing?
A small-scale test using 1 pound of buckshot gives them their first ping pong data point.
That actually confirms my math. I think that was exactly 15 balls to eliminate a pound of weight. That's a lot of balls for a lot of pounds.
3,500 pounds, to be exact. The weight of the sailboat they're planning to sink and salvage.
It'll take just over 50,000 balls to make it neutrally buoyant, probably 60,000 to raise it from the bottom of the ocean.
That's a small sailboat.
That's a small sailboat, like a 25-footer.
60,000 ping pong balls sounds pricey. So before they burn the cash, they need to know if the balls will bear up at the ocean bottom.
Would they hold up under the pressure?
Maybe we should test it first.
Jamie knocks up a mini pressure chamber to test to depths up to 100 feet underwater.
Never let it be said that Jamie and I don't take high pressure seriously.
You ready?
I'm ready.
If the balls crack under pressure too soon,
We're at 30 PSI.
this myth is busted before Adam and Jamie have even got their feet wet.
So let's go to 45.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep on going.
Okay.
If you hear a big boom, just dive.
Whoa! That was about
60.
Well, so they didn't burst until 60 PSI. That's equivalent to 90 feet under the water. The distance we're thinking of, about 30 feet, doesn't seem like these ping pong balls will crush it all down there.
Looks like they've got the balls to deal with the depth.
Yeah, would you like to hold these?
But how on earth do you get 50,000 of them down to a sunken vessel? Jamie funnels the thorny problem through his gray matter and flushes out a bright idea.
I think we should try seeing whether a flow of water downward will carry these with them, because we might just get away with having a tube going down into the boat.
Okay, good.
Gravity takes the water down, and maybe it'll pull some of these ping pong balls with it.
If this simple system works, it's going to save them a boatload of time. So, water on, balls in.
Come on!
And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah! That's what I like to see!
I'd say that's a working thing, right?
Yeah! That works!
Okay.
With a working rig, now all they need is a boat to sink. So it's down to Monterey Harbor, where they find the perfect fit.
What a piece of crap. We'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. Thanks.
Before they can send it to the seabed,
Here goes.
the proud owners must first polish this turd for environmental reasons. Rechristened the Mythtanic II, the doomed vessel makes its final voyage to a safe location, where it's dispatched to a watery grave.
How hard is this sink a boat?
But is this goodbye? Or merely au revoir? Before they get down to business, they seal off the salvage area to protect the marine life.
Hey, Jamie, they're calling you.
They saw the mustache.
Yeah.
Right on cue, 60,000 ping pong balls roll up. And it's finally time to put this Donald Duck-inspired myth to the test. While Adam feeds the rig, Jamie and Dive Master Robert will be down below marshalling balls into Mythtanic II. At first, things seem to be going swimmingly, but that could be their last hurrah, for a while at least. The system is clogging up, and Adam's reduced to feeding balls in a handful at a time.
At this point, I've only emptied 4 or 5 boxes. That's like 6,000 or 7,000 ping pong balls.
At this rate, it'll be dark before they get halfway. Then Robert pops up with a suggestion.
I think the hose is still too long. I got all this slack. If you could take about another 10 or 12 feet off of this thing.
I can take 10 feet off in 5 seconds.
The long hose is looping in the water, slowing down the flow into the boat. Will a shorter hose and a more direct delivery get faster results? The answer is a resounding yes. And with thousands of ping pong balls per hour flowing into the boat, she soon becomes neutrally buoyant. Whisper it, but this seems to be working.
Oh, that's cool.
But with victory in sight, here come those jaws of defeat.
Oh, no. They're coming up.
Is that a whole boatload of bobbing balls coming to the surface?
What's going on down there?
There's a window on top. We didn't even see it. A piece of wood glued in. That blew out.
On the front of the boat, there was this hatch on the bow that we screwed down. That hole blew out, it seems, from pressure of the ping pong balls.
A new hatch cover is quickly fitted. And before long, there are 26,000 balls in the hull. Halfway there.
The boat is upright, it's teetering. These boats have a lead keel, so it's anybody's guess whether it's actually going to work.
With the boat and this entire myth in the balance, and an estimated 23,000 balls still to go, the The math unexpectedly tilts Mythtanic 2's way. Holy duck, here she comes. The 9-hour marathon salvage is over.
We succeeded. Of all things, she's on the surface. We did it.
And the key to success? Jamie's brilliant ball-dropping system.
It got the balls down there. It worked like a charm.
And who would have ever thought that you could pour ping pong balls down into the bottom of the ocean?
Actually, Donald Duck did. The guys swear they didn't know, but 80-odd years ago, Donald and his nephews came up with a rig uncannily similar to Jamie's. And like the Mythbusters, they also triumphed.
Amazingly, I'd say this one is entirely plausible.
Yeah, plausible, not practical, though.